Yeah, let me tell you about shit. They got shit in the world, shit that travel and it stick to you, and it grows in your mind. It grows in your mind and in your soul. They got shit like that, shit that won't let you forget, shit that'll clog up your mind and make everything nasty, shit that won't let you, shit that won't let you. You can't wipe it away, you can't rub it away, you can't scrub it away.
Shit you should know. Everything in your neighborhood is under heavy surveillance and real-time monitoring. Everything. They are monitoring everyone's daily routine, the targets, and the perpetrators. They have spy planes circling your house every 5 minutes or every 10 minutes. They all sound the same with a lingering acoustic sound to it. There's another layer to it, one that feels less technical and more immediate. These planes can also seem to respond on movement, as if it's already within the area hovering nearby. If you lay still, you hear nothing. The moment you move or sit up, within seconds you hear one approaching. Walk to the kitchen and another one will pass overhead, which leads me to believe they had motion sensors placed all around us, and not just centralized ones, but distributed, blanketing the area, tracking small changes, feeding into something automated. The planes are not watching directly, they are reacting to something like a system checking its own input. But the technology doesn't stop in the sky. It's the neighborhood itself, the people, the animals, dogs especially. You step outside and almost instantly a dog will start barking, always nearby, always right on cue, as if triggered, responding to the same signal. I believe the perpetrators in the community have to be assigned dogs that are chipped, linked into the same network. Mobile sensors disguised as pets sending notifications. No cameras needed when behavior alone could report presence, movement, and intent. There isn't anything going on in your neighborhood that they don't know about that they haven't set up or orchestrated. That's how much control they have. Everyone's phone's ringing, every conversation, every Wi-Fi login, every car that passed by, slow down or circle the block too often is all logged, time-stamped, compared against a baseline of what's normal or what normal's supposed to look like. They got algorithms that flag deviations, a light that turned on the wrong hour, a device that goes quiet too suddenly, a person whose routine changed. Once something's triggered, a perpetrator is sent out to investigate if he or she isn't already present. Every car that drive by your place are sent and deliberate. Every time they pass by, you may feel or receive a shock, a twitch, a muscle spasm. They literally connecting to you doing this and are getting some type of incentive by it. You may notice heavy traffic during the day, night, and overnight. Neighbors coming and going back and forth, and how you would know is because their car is altered to have a distinct sound that you may recognize is them. There's always some type of street theater activity going on around the target. Small interactions, people stopping to talk too loudly, a door opening at the exact moment you look out the window, which leads me to believe if they are assigned to be your neighbor or neighbor's neighbor, then they have been given the privilege to not need any employment and can live free, rent free, for as long as they are assigned to you, because to operate on your time, which is 24 hours of the day, how can they do that and still go to work or handle their priorities unless their needs are being met? They really don't have a life outside of you. I believe they get their essentials delivered to them if it means having them keep an eye on you. At the same time, the neighborhood watches. There's another presence close by. Law enforcement, emergency services, always nearby, out of sight. Maybe around the corner, maybe parked where you can't see them. Police, ambulances, fire trucks, close enough to respond instantly. Many people will find it hard to believe if they haven't experienced it themselves that these emergency services do not be doing their job, not responding to calls, not rushing anywhere, just positioned, waiting. Then you notice the timing. You're inside the house, everything's quiet. The moment you move closer to a window, just close enough to hear the streets, the sirens erupt. Not gradually, not approaching from a distance. They turn them on as soon as you nearby. The sirens don't mean danger. They don't mean help. They function like an announcement, alerts to the system, a way to let everyone else know you shifted positions, that you're active, that you're paying attention. Then soon after you notice, the neighborhood is awake. More traffic, louder sounds, people's movements. I'ma tell y'all how they turn these law enforcement and emergency services into narcissists, sociopaths, and psychopaths. I believe some who take these jobs have good intentions, but once they realize the deep corruption within, they follow suit, either directly or indirectly. I watch enough body cam videos on YouTube to see that cops get targeted too. Can you imagine being a targeted individual as a cop, having to deal with street theater all day, and having to deal with stage ritual cult deaths all day, every day? That can be enough to make anyone lose their mind, go mad, until they start to be desensitized to human life, to human suffering in general. You know, to the point where they stop having empathy and start finding enjoyment in doing bad. So check this out. There was a story you can look up about a lady that had shot her 6-year-old son 9 times with a shotgun while he was strapped into his booster seat, and then dumped pieces of his body in dumpsters and driving around with the rest of him in her trunk. Now, why would someone in their right mind want to do that? To traumatize certain officers, to break them spiritually. How they turn good cops bad? By traumatizing them using the perpetrators who wants to join the club, the fraternity, but have to commit heinous crimes themselves because everyone have to have dirt on them. So they have to kidnap children, rape women, dismember people, all kinds of crazy stuff you hear on the news. Be them. Then they send the good cops to all these staged murders, all the worst murders, so they get traumatized enough that they become evil themselves. That's why the system is sick and corrupt from the inside out. These cops are getting younger and younger because the younger they are, the less they care about their life, and the more time and energy they have to want to do this type of shit. The perpetrator who do these crimes are people who turned into psychopaths that have been subjected to V2K. They have been subjected to people sending voices in their heads telling them their child is a demon and wants to kill them when they're asleep, and they actually believe that voice in their head, thinking it's God, and killed their own child, listening to that voice that's setting them up. And when the cops arrive, they either get killed in the process, or the cops have to witness something traumatic either way, while the person being a CIA or a military official or a political person sit in a secret location orchestrating the whole thing. This is what they do all day. This is fun to them. The average civilian is their experiment, and society is just in a social experiment. We in the game. They are talking to people, orchestrating shit, making people do things, forcing people to do things, to see things. Most people don't even have a clue what is happening.
The capability to study individual neurons and figure out the main functions of certain areas of the brain. But a human brain contains almost 100 billion neurons, making trillions of connections. So Dr. Collins says it's like listening to the string section and trying to figure out what the whole orchestra sounds like. So as a result, we're still unable to cure diseases like Alzheimer's or autism, or fully reverse the effects of a stroke. And the most powerful computer in the world isn't nearly as intuitive as the one we're born with. So there's this enormous mystery waiting to be unlocked. And the Brain Initiative will change that by giving scientists the tools they need to get a dynamic picture of the brain in action and better understand how we think and how we learn and how we remember. And that knowledge will be transformative. In the budget I will send to Congress next week, I will propose a significant investment by the National Institutes of Health, DARPA, and the National Science Foundation to help get this project off the ground. I'm directing my bioethics commission to make sure all of the research is being done in a responsible way, and we're also partnering with the private sector including leading companies and foundations and research institutions, to tap the nation's brightest minds to help us reach our goal. And of course, none of this will be easy. If it was, we'd already know everything there was about how the brain works, and presumably my life would be simpler here. It could explain all kinds of things that go on in Washington. And we could prescribe something. So it won't be easy. But think about what we could do once we do crack this code. Imagine if no family had to feel helpless watching a loved one disappear behind the mask of Parkinson's or struggle in the grip of epilepsy. Imagine if we could reverse traumatic brain injury or PTSD for our veterans who are coming home. Imagine if someone with a prosthetic limb can now play the piano or throw a baseball as well as anybody else because the wiring from the brain to that prosthetic is direct and triggered by what's already happening in the patient's mind. What if computers could respond to our thoughts, or our language barriers could come tumbling down? Or if millions of Americans were suddenly finding new jobs in these fields, jobs we haven't even dreamt up yet because we chose to invest in this project. That's the future we're imagining. That's what we're hoping for. That's why the BRAIN Initiative is so absolutely important, and that's why it's so important that we think about basic research generally as a driver of growth, and that we replace the across-the-board budget cuts that are threatening to set us back before we even get started. You know, a few weeks ago, the directors of some of our national laboratories said that the sequester, these arbitrary across-the-board cuts that have gone into place,